Socket Radio, ON, AM, and FM. This ON, AM, and FM forecast brought to you by Cumberland Kitchen and Bath Design Center, 1764 Mendon Road in Cumberland, transforming a house into a home. Your home. Call 334-7317. Saturday's weather, mostly cloudy in the morning, gradually clearing all day with a temperature falling to about 23 degrees by 5 p.m. Saturday. Winds from the northwest. Sunday, partly sunny and a high of 36. Sunday night is a 70% chance of rain, possibly mixed with snow in the wee hours of the morning. Cloudy skies, overnight low of 28. Monday, a 30% chance of leftover rain in the morning, mostly cloudy with a high of 48. Tuesday, mostly sunny and 39. Wednesday, a 30% chance of rain and snow, mostly cloudy, 37. And on Thursday, a 60% chance of rain is likely, mostly cloudy with a high of 49 on Thursday.
So we have some exciting guests coming up for our future. But Pat, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you? And we got some breaking NHL news.
Yeah, we'll probably start to see these trickle in. You know, a trade deadline comes up shortly, but 3 trades yesterday. There were 2. Philadelphia Flyers acquired forwards Andrei Kuzmenko and Jacob Pelletier, a second-round pick in the 2025. Vancouver swung another deal, acquiring defenseman Marcus Pettersson and forward Drew O'Connor from the Pittsburgh Penguins for forwards Danton Heinen, former Bruin, defenseman Vincent Desjardins, and forward prospect Melvin Fernstrom in a first-round pick in the 2025 NHL draft. So,
wow! So
people starting to move.
Lots of happening last night. Yeah, pretty good. We had some issues with the mic. The mic wasn't working, but I think we're all set now. So it's good to hear. So 3 big trades. Do you think impact in the playoffs? Are these? I know there was one thing in Vancouver. The 2 guys weren't getting along with each other.
I don't think these are. It's still
right,
halfway, but yeah, I don't think these are. I think maybe Philly is trying to stay in it. The Rangers have had a tough season, but these are all deals I think for more future, trying to turn things around for next year.
Right. Okay.
Vancouver certainly. I mean, I think they.
And the Rangers have been struggling this year, so it was kind of surprising to see all these teams well before the deadline get going. So all right, so we don't get the opportunity to break too many trades overnight. I think we did an NBA trade about 3 months ago, and now we got the some NHL overnight trades going on. So let's just jump in like we always do with some local things, and we're going to lead off with Bryant University because right now of the 4 Rhode Island Division I men's basketball programs, right now they are in the absolute best position to make the March Madness tournament, which is now next month. First of all, before we even get going even further, I do have to say a happy birthday to the hosts of Coffee and the Tiki Bar, my brother Joe Callahan. Joe, if you're listening, happy birthday out there. So he's a little bit older than me. I won't say how old, but he's older. It's okay. All right, so Bryant University on ESPNU Thursday night. Earl Timberlake, Connor Withers recorded double-doubles while Rafael Pinzon finished at 18 points. Bryant Bulldogs fought for a gritty road win against UMBC, which is like University of Maryland, Baltimore County.
You got it.
All right. Winning by a final score 92-86. And do you know the reason why they put that game on ESPNU? Did you hear this?
They're the two highest scoring teams
in America East.
In America East.
Not the CAA, but America East.
Yes, not the CAA.
In America East. And, wow, 178 points. So, nice job. I tuned to it, watched quite a bit of it, and very high scoring game, nip and tuck the whole way. So with the win, the Bulldogs moved to 13-9 overall, but more importantly, 7-0 in America East. Thursday's win gives Bryant their best start to conference play since transitioning to Division I. They return to the court on Saturday today down in New Jersey Institute of Technology, NJIT. Back and forth that whole game. UMBC held an 81-80 lead just over 4 minutes to go. Bryant goes on a 12-5 run to close out the night. Pins on with 7 of Bryant's 12 points in the final stretch. Him and Withers were tied for the lead with 18. Withers posted his first double-double of the season, adding 12 rebounds to his stat line, along with 6 assists, 3 steals. He also hit 4 3-pointers. Pinzon added 4 assists, 2 boards, and a steal. Timberlake, who's the guy that was all hyped up before the season, recorded his 8th, and rightfully so, recorded his 8th double-double of the season with 16 points and 12 rebounds. He had 5 assists, 2 blocks, a steal, and he's had 28 double-doubles in his career. So, again, they're at 2 o'clock this afternoon. If you get a chance, tune these guys on. They score, they play hard, and it's going to be them versus Vermont in the America East. And for those of you that play the brackets out there, and most of you do that are listening, you always see Vermont kind of sneaking into that 13, 14, maybe the occasional 12 slot. Don't be surprised. Bryant pulls off a couple more wins or wins America East. They're going to get in this year, and they've already beaten Vermont by close to 20, if not 20 points this year.
Interestingly enough, Coach Martinelli, Martelli Jr.
Yes.
He had a tech late in that game, right around that same point where it was a close game.
Yeah.
On I think an obvious foul that they didn't call, and so his team, maybe it fired them up a little bit after that because they ended up going on that 12-5 run. So
anytime a coach has you back too, kids love it, and congratulations to Brian. Again, 7-0, first time since transition to Division I. I'm not sure how many years it's been. I think we're in double figures now since they've transitioned to D1, but they're starting to make a name for themselves, which exciting to see, especially here up in Northern Rhode Island.
Yeah, and then over at PC, they got by Seton Hall Tuesday night, 69-67. PC was led by Jaden Pierre, Corey Floyd Jr., and Jabri Abdur-Rahim. Each recorded double-digit performances to pace of Friars. Pierre ended the night with a team-high 16, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists, shooting 6-9 from the field and 3 for 5 from 3. Senior guard Bensley Joseph tacked on 12 points, 3 assists, and a game-high 7 rebounds. PC with a tough matchup this afternoon at 12 against Rick Pitino and the nationally ranked St. John's Red Storm.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I know about the Red Men or anymore. But Red Storm or
yes.
It's the Syracuse Orange. It's the St. John's Red Storm. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, got it. So, by any chance, did you see the end of that PC game?
No. I did. Sorry.
No problem. It's Seton Hall. They're going for a last-second shot, and they're in three-point land, and the gentleman gets fouled. They don't call the first foul, which was on the floor. The guy for Seton Hall makes a move. He gets fouled again, and then as he gets away from that foul, he just throws up a shot. They award him 3 shots at the line. Kim English went crazy. It was one of the worst officiating things I've seen. It would have been really cool to have. We hope to have John Rook on here in the future. We'd love to get John's thoughts or heard his take on that, because I'm sure him and his broadcast partner Joey Hassett were none too pleased with that. But PC did hold on against Seton Hall, gritty Seton Hall team. We'll see how PC does going forward. St. John's is ranked, I've seen 15th and 14th, so it depends on which poll you're looking at. URI held on for an 88-82 win over UMass Amherst on Wednesday night at the Ryan Center. Despite holding a 21-point lead, the Rams, who are now 15-6 but just 4-5 in A10, were nearly toppled by the Minutemen, who outscored their hosts by 15 over the final 16 minutes. We mentioned it briefly last week on the show. URI really struggling. They jumped out to that 12-1 start, and they are now 3-5 since then. So good for URI to grab the win, especially at home, high scoring. But they got to tighten a few things up. They can't just let UMass into a game. When you're up by 21, you really got to close them out. They are off until Wednesday when they travel to Fordham Wednesday night.
I would have liked to see UMass take that game since I'm a alum. But okay. Congratulations to URI.
That was a very reluctant congratulations to URI.
And then Brown played last night at Penn. Keno Lilly Jr. scored a career-high 34 points as Brown men's basketball team, 10-8 now, earned an 88-79 win at Penn, who dropped to 6-12. They quickly return to action tonight at Princeton for a 5 o'clock game.
And as always, the winner of the Ivy League gets in. Second place usually gets the NIT bid. And I don't even know if they're doing that third tournament that was on like that Impact channel or something like that. I don't even know, Access channel. So speaking of Brown, the Brown hockey team with a quick trip through New York. Played RPI last night. Brian Nichols capped off the hat trick in the final minute of overtime to lift the Brown Bears, who are now 9-2 overall, 5-7-1 in the ECAC, to a 6-5 road win over RPI, dropping them to 9-14-2, 4-9 in the ECAC. Friday night at the Houston Fieldhouse, Tyler Kopp added a career high 4 assists and also had a goal in the victory. Quick turnaround for them as they have a game at 4 o'clock this afternoon at Union. So they'll trip through upstate New York for the Brown Bears.
Yeah, and then number 7, Providence, a little bit of a scuffle a bit as of late, although, they are playing in the Hockey East.
Right.
So, every team is pretty much ranked.
You're right, exactly.
So it's not an easy schedule, but they have number 9, UConn, in a home-and-home. Last night at Schneider, back-and-forth game, the Friars battled to a 3-3 tie. Obviously, there was no scoring in overtime. Then 8-round shootout where UConn won and picked up the extra point. PC faces off at 3:30 this afternoon at the XL Center in Hartford.
Quick question. Maybe you know the answer for this. I've seen this a couple of times now. You look up PC in other teams, and it even says it on the Hockey East website. They skated to a tie, but UConn picked up the extra point. But you look at their record, and it says a tie, but UConn gets credit for the win, I believe, too.
No, they just get an extra point in the Big East standings.
Okay, so it goes as a tie,
yeah,
but you can just get an extra point,
yeah,
but you don't get the win.
Yeah, I think if you look at the Big East record, they have win, loss, tie, over, shootout.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's where they usually there's a 1 there.
So is it used as like a tiebreaker?
Yeah.
In the long. Oh, okay.
So instead of you get the extra point. So they do get 2 points instead of 1.
Right.
So PC gets 1 point in the standings
for the tie.
UConn gets the 2.
Okay, so it's sort of the same, but just a little bit different. Yeah. Okay. So PC, they got swept by Boston College a couple weekends ago. They dropped, in theory, 2 to UMass Lowell. The one of them was that tie extra point thing.
Right.
And last night they lost to UConn. So they haven't won outright now in 5 straight. However, they are still number 7 in the country, and UConn, came into the game last night ranked number 9. And again, they play again this afternoon in Hartford. And the most recent pairwise rankings, the best indicator of who will make the 16-team tournament in NCAA hockey, Boston College sits at number 1. Maine and UConn are actually tied at number 4 in pairwise. Providence is tied at number 8. And UMass Lowell and BU come in tied at number 10. UNH is sitting at 15. But I was listening to the Providence, the Friar game last week, and they said you really want to be in the top 12 because of the automatic qualifiers. So UNH sitting at 15 might be on the outside looking in.
Right.
But the other teams, what's that? 6 teams BC, Maine, Yukon, Providence, UMass Lowell, BU. I mean,
yeah, not all of them are going to make it because of the
automatic.
The automatic conference winners that get in. So
all right, hey, let's take our first break. When we come back, we're gonna finish up some local college hockey things. We got the Bean Pot coming up, things like that. But we want to open up the phone lines to you. Do you have any thoughts on the Bills and the Chiefs and the officiating in that game? Phone lines are wide open. We're gonna go into the Bruins as well. So Celtics talk. There's some gambling news in the NBA. So we want to hear from you. It's 401-766-1240. You're in the cheap seats with Pat and Kevin. We'll be right back on OneSocketRadio.com, 99.5 FM, 1240 AM. We will be right back.
ON 1240.
The latest Buick and GMC models are available at Tasker Buick GMC in Woonsocket. Buick Encore, Envision, Enclave, and Envista are on the lot waiting for you to take one for a test drive. New GMC crossovers, SUVs, as well as trucks and vans are also available. Thinking of a pre-owned vehicle? Tasker Buick GMC has more than 900 in stock, many under $15,000. Visit online, TaskerBuickGMC.com, or stop into 55 Fortin Drive, Woonsocket. Tasker Buick GMC, you will be satisfied.
A new garage door can have a major effect on the appearance of your property. When you're ready, call Andy Bebo at Woonsocket Door Sales, in business since 1935. Woonsocket Door Sales installs and repairs all makes of doors and openers, as well as broken springs and cables. Service includes installation and free disposal of the old door. Woonsocket Door Sales, 767-3448. Office located at 1 Biltmore Avenue, Cumberland. Reputation is important.
The world-class distributor of all things electrical is Electrical Wholesalers. They are a full-service electrical distributor with branches throughout Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and New Hampshire. Locally, they're at 113 Clinton Street next to KFC here in Woonsocket, with other locations in Cranston and Franklin, Massachusetts. Electrical Wholesalers provides the highest quality service to electrical contractors as well as residential, commercial, and industrial customers. Electrical Wholesalers is open Monday through Friday, 7 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon. Visit ew-ne.com. Electrical Wholesalers.
We're local and live at 99.5 FM, ON, AM, and FM.
And welcome back. You are in the cheap seats with Pat and Kevin. Thank you so much for joining us. If you have any thoughts on what's going on in the world of sports locally, Celtics, NFL, Bruins. Will the Red Sox ever sign another player? Give us your thoughts. 401-766-1240. Last night in Hockey East, Pat, no real surprises last night. BC over UMass Lowell 4-0. UMass Amherst winners over Merrimack 4-2. Maine over Northeastern Maine over Northeastern 3-1, and BU all over UNH 7-2. Vermont, the only Hockey East team last night not to play. They're on a bit of a break with like one game over a course of 2 weeks. Yeah,
no surprises. BC is just really playing well right now, as is BU.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens. But this Monday, the 72nd Beanpot returns to the Garden with Northeastern looking to three-peat. The first game's at 5 o'clock, BU versus Harvard, and then at 8 p.m. BC plays Northeastern. Championship game will be the following Monday at 7:30. Probably should be an old school BC BU final. Overall, BU has the most titles with 31, last winning it in 2022. And then BC has 20 titles. However, they have not won it since 2016.
I was shocked when I saw that.
Because they've had some really good teams.
Yes, they have.
And I think that's really BC's, if you talk to any of the players, even when they win the national championship games, that's the Beanpot's really the big, it's the stepping point of the season for them, but a lot of the seniors who hadn't won it, it's like devastating to them. So
it is.
And then obviously Harvard has 11, last winning it in 2017, and then Northeastern has 9 overall, winning the last 2.
Yeah, chance to three-peat. It's funny. I heard this. I think it was Boston College said this a few years ago. They got 3 goals every year: win Hockey East, win the Beanpot, win the national championship. and they give the Beanpot as much credit as the other pieces of the pie. So it's
the Battle of Comm Ave.
Yeah, so it's great and good for Northeastern to winning it the last 2 years. I don't think they win this year. They're really struggling. BCBU really are at the top of the game. The schedule is playing out where they get to play each other for the championship.
Throw the records out.
Oh, you throw the records out.
As cliche it is, we've used it a lot.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Come the Beanpot, you gotta show up. You gotta play because they're all invested in. They all want to win it. So
right in Northeastern with an under 500 record this year, most likely will not make the tournament unless they go on some sort of crazy run to win Hockey East. So this is their championship, and and to your point. Throw the records out. Go play the game. See what happens. They get a chance. You got guys on the team that have won it 2 in a row. They become couldn't have the opportunity to become. I think it's only happened like 6 times where a team is three-peated in the 72-year history. They also are the last team not to get in double digits on titles, so they want to get to 10. They went through a long stretch of not winning it, like in the middle, like 30, 40 years.
Oh yeah.
But they actually three-peated in the late teens. I think it was.
Back to the Chris Terreri days.
Terry was a PC guy.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he was a PC goalie.
Huh.
So
who knew? I was testing you.
Yeah, thanks, appreciate it.
You can go ahead.
All right, Providence Bruins traveled to Cleveland last night to take on the Monsters. Forward Patrick Brown posted 2 goals and assists, bolstering the Providence Bruins to a 4-2 victory over the Cleveland Monsters at the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. Riley Tuft notched a goal and assist. Ian Mitchell also found the back of the net. Goaltender, who else? Michael DiPietro made 27 saves to earn his 16th win of the season. They play the Monsters again today before returning home next Friday versus Springfield. And exciting news for us here in the Chief Seats. We've been in contact with the Providence Bruins play-by-play announcer, Austin Rook. Much more about him, but we expect him, now that we are in the month of February, to be joining us. We think in studio. We're not 100% sure on that. We're still wrapping some things up, so much more on that. But we look forward to having Providence Bruins play-by-play announcer Austin Rook in studio, or at least on the phones with us. Give us some insight into the Bruins, not just the Boston Bruins, but the Providence Bruins. Are there any prospects down there? And when we have them on, hopefully it'll be the launching of the Four Nations tournament.
Yep.
So we can preview that. So let's just jump right into the Bruins, Pat, if you don't mind. It's more. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
We can. Yeah. Good segue is a quick shout out to
yes.
Rhode Island native and former Providence College player Parker Ford, who scored his first NHL goal versus the Bruins Thursday night for Winnipeg. I believe he's a Wakefield, Rhode Island native, played high school at the Kent School in Connecticut. Okay. So congratulations to Parker Ford and his family on his first goal, and hopefully a tremendous NHL career ahead of him.
Right. I mean, and what a great situation for him. He's on Winnipeg, who has a legitimate... Winnipeg, well, who wants to play in Winnipeg? Well, Winnipeg's one of the best teams, if not the best team in the league right now, and a great opportunity for him. The family was in attendance, so pretty exciting to see.
They are certainly the best team when they're playing the Bruins.
The Bruins have now lost to them in their 2-game series. They've lost. They've been outscored 14-3. 8-1 in Winnipeg, and now 6-2. All right, here's the frustrating part with the Bruins. They tied the game up 2-2 Thursday night. 8 seconds later, Winnipeg scores to make it 3-2. And I think Lowry almost had a wraparound for an own goal, but he lost the puck in the crease. Winnipeg popped it home.
Yeah.
38 seconds after that, Winnipeg scores again, 4-2.
Yeah.
So they have all the momentum, and within 42 seconds, they're down 2 goals at home.
It was a shorthanded goal, too.
It was a shorthanded goal. You're right. I completely
So they
forgot
tie
about
the
that.
game up on a shorthanded goal.
Yep.
And then they give up a power play goal seconds later.
Seconds.
And then, we watched the game together. and I don't know. Lowry's he's still a young player, but they teach you that at
age 5.
Yeah. Like what are you doing trying to cut out in front of your goalie?
Right.
Nothing good can happen.
No. I was the worst hockey player ever to lace up the skates. I played till I was about 12. The one thing I remember: do never pass in front of your own goalie. It's probably the only thing I took away for hockey. Never mind doing a wraparound in front of your own goalie when you're shorthanded, and literally giving Winnipeg a gift goal. This is on the heels of playing Buffalo. When was the last time you saw one of the absolute worst teams in the league get not one but two hat tricks in a game, completely dominate you 7-2 at home? Again, your thoughts on the Bruins right now? 766-1240. Feel free to call in. Help us fix the Bruins. Is there any hope?
There's no hope this year. I mean, it's all done. I mean, I think they're gonna have to make moves and try to rebuild this. And as you said the other night, who do you move?
Who do you move?
And Marchand, certainly a guy that a playoff contender would potentially bring in. He doesn't have a deal in place for next year, so
he'll be a rental player for some team, and he could help. I don't know what he gets back in return. Obviously, you're looking for draft picks, I guess. I don't know how this year's draft stacks up. No team is going to give up a good player to get him back, so you got to stockpile your draft.
Yeah, which I'm fine with. They haven't had much capital over the last few years because they gave up,
Everything.
2 years ago where they kind of
went for it,
rightfully so, and they did, and I said this the other night, Don Sweeney, if you look back to last July, they go out and make a splash and basically sign Lindholm and Zadorov.
You're right.
And I thought those were great signings at the time.
At the time, yeah, I was all for it.
Clearly, they haven't panned out.
Not Lindholm's -7.
Yeah, I mean he has 3 or 4 goals.
Yeah.
I don't even know. And
15
Zadorov, he doesn't even look like he plays defense.
No, he's in the penalty box. He leads the league in penalty.
He's out of position.
Did you know that one? He leads the league in penalty.
Oh, yeah.
And the person second to him is like 20 or 30 minutes behind him, or 15. He's far behind Zadorov.
And they just don't have depth.
Right. And
They're down the middle.
I think Lindholm is signed for 6 more years after this, with a no trade through 2029.
Yep. Now you hope that this is an anomaly, and
we do have a call. So let's see who's on the line. Hello, you're in the cheap seats. Who are we talking to?
Good morning, guys. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Moose. How are you?
All right. How you doing?
I'm upset with the Bruins.
I'm dumbfounded. I'm speechless in a bad way. Oh, my God. They're awful.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm so disappointed. But, and sure enough, I just popped into the house. I put this student, and we just talked about it before I came into my apartment. I said, what about Laurel I cut in front of his net? I put you guys on, you're talking exactly about the same thing. Exactly, what a coincidence.
Yeah.
And, 8-year-old kids teach not to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think you got a kid like that, you got to either send him down, put him upstairs, I mean, something's not right when you're making decisions like that. At that point in the game, makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't. I posed a question yesterday with your brother and with a panel on Coffee Inn on ON Radio.
Yep.
And I was pertaining to. Now, of course, one of the guests says, I said, they're bad. I said, they should have done this, which I'll get to in 1 second. And he says, it's their defense. I said, yes, but my question was this. This is what surprised me, guys. Why didn't he not start Swayman? You've got to start your number 1 goalie against the highest scoring team in the league. You've got to start Swayman. You can't start your backup goalie. Winnipeg, I think, leads the league in goals scored.
I think you're right. They're a very high-scoring team.
Now that's not your one goal. And the guest said, it's their defense. I said, yes, but you're missing the point. That's not the question I'm asking. I'm asking about the goalie.
Well, the
why
the
did
goalie
Jack
gave
do
up
that?
8 goals the night before.
Well,
The-
the Swayman gave up, they lost 7-2 to Buffalo.
Right.
Nonetheless, you still got to start your number one goalie against the high-flying Jets. If you don't, I think it's a given.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting take because like Pat said, you had Swayman giving up 4 goals against Buffalo. The previous 7 goals against Buffalo the previous game.
those would have been nice.
Yeah, so Corpusalo hasn't been a problem, but I think the problem it doesn't matter who you have in net. I think the problem is the defense, Moose. And you brought it up, and it's
it's an entirely different question. It's an entirely different subject.
Right.
I wanted to ask about the goalie situation first.
Yeah.
And then you're going to defense. You're talking about another topic.
Yeah, no, I think they were just giving Corpusalo a chance after Swayman gave up 7 just to see what he could do. They've been playing him like 1 out of every 4 games. I think he was just up. I'm sure Swayman's gonna be back in that tonight against the Rangers.
I was just a bit surprised. Now that defense, another guy. I'm telling you, I don't like this guy. He reminds me of Zdeno Chara in his late years when he used to gather the puck in his own end and wrap it around the boards. Never had manned it out of the zone. And that's Brandon Carlo.
Oh, yeah, Carlos. They overpaid him years ago, and I think he took a couple hard hits over the last couple seasons and just hasn't been the same.
It's evident. He throws the puck, gets the puck in his own zone to the right or left of his net, or in the corner, and sings it around the boards instead of looking for your winger breaking out or yourself. Break out, headband the puck towards the other end. Just to sling it around the boards is like, okay, you guys, you take care of it. He's not going to do. I don't like him.
I think Carlo could be one of the guys that they could move. I think a team, a playoff contending team, could be interested in him as a third pair defenseman. I think the Bruins could get something for him. And that should be one of the ones that they do try to shop at the trading deadline.
It's possible. Let's see what happens. I don't even know if they're going to make the playoffs.
I don't think they're going to make the playoffs.
That is definitely in question now.
Yeah.
The season's starting. We're about 3/4 of the way.
Yeah.
And there's about 6 or 7 teams bunched up with them for the last playoff spot.
With games in hand.
Yeah, and those teams have games in hand on the Bruins too,
exactly.
1 or 2. So that's
I wanted to
huge.
bring up one more thing, guys, before
Sure.
I let you go. I know you're late for the break, and just switch quickly to basketball and college basketball, and namely women's college basketball. I've kind of lost respect for the NBA. I think I've told you this before.
Yes.
They run around like wild Indians and they don't give a crap. But I seen something the other night in a women college basketball game where one of the ladies and one of the women scored, I don't know what kind of maybe a layup or something, or a short jumper or a driving layup. And as soon as she did, she stood in front of the crowd and went, F you. You could see it. a girl here, this is a women's college basketball, F you, and she stood up there demanding head front, and the referee didn't see it. That's automatic ejection.
Yeah, no, I didn't see it, and I didn't hear anything about it.
My jaw dropped. Kevin, my jaw dropped.
Yeah.
What is that?
Wow.
And they just let it go.
Yeah.
I can't stand the officiating.
Yeah, no, that should
I
be
just can't
reprimanded or suspended. I know it's college basketball. If the coach sees it, something like that should be suspended. I know fans say things that get under the skin of the players. The players do have to kind of let that go. But you can't be jumping in the crowd. You can't be swearing at the fans and things like that.
They do it all the time in the NBA. All the time, constantly during the game.
Right. So they got to do a better job of policing
none at
that.
all.
So.
None.
So we're going to get into a little bit of NBA stuff after the break, Moose. So you may like what we have to say about it because I'm not happy with the NBA with what's going on a couple of things. So stay tuned. We're going to take a quick break. But Moose, thank you so much for calling. We'll talk soon.
I'll be listening. Thank you, guys.
All right, thanks,
Bye-bye.
Moose. the Mighty Moose with us here on in the cheap seats on ON. We're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, I wanna finish up with some Bruins talk, hockey talk, but I do want to get into the Terry Rozier and the gambling thing a little bit as well. So we'll be right back here in the cheap seats with Pat and Kevin on 99.5 FM, 1240 AM, OneSocketRadio.com. We'll be right back.
OM 1240.
The latest Buick and GMC models are available at Tasker Buick GMC in Woonsocket. Buick Encore, Envision, Enclave, and Invista are on the lot waiting for you to take one for a test drive. New GMC crossovers, SUVs, as well as trucks and vans are also available. Thinking of a pre-owned vehicle? Tasker Buick GMC has more than 900 in stock, many under $15,000. Visit online, TaskerBuickGMC.com, or stop into 55 Fortin Drive, Woonsocket. Tasker Buick GMC, you will be satisfied.
At North Smithfield Urgent Care and Lincoln Urgent Care, you'll always be seen by a board-certified physician who'll diagnose your minor illness or injury. Their services include treatment for flu, fractures, rashes, ITU infections, and work-related injuries, plus physicals, vaccinations, and drug screening. North Smithfield Urgent Care, Great Road, North Smithfield, and Lincoln Urgent Care, Wake Robin Road, Lincoln. X-ray and lab on premises.
The last thing you need is more stress. So at Micho's Auto Body, they handle the complete claim for you. Check their website to see the 13 actual steps they take to make your experience stress-free. You'll also see a complete photo gallery showing you the detailed and technical process necessary to accommodate new car construction and metallic paints. Micho's Auto Body, 430 Privilege Street, Woonsocket, 769-1983.
When disaster strikes, trust the experts at Service Master by Gilmore. From water and fire damage restoration to mold remediation and emergency cleanup, we've been restoring peace of mind for over 40 years, now proudly serving all areas, including our newest service location in Rhode Island. No job is too big or small. Day or night, we're here for you. Call Service Master by Gilmore at 1-800-783-0552 or visit us at the web, www.servicemasterrestore.com. Restoration done right every time.
And welcome back. You are in the cheap seats with Pat and Kevin. If you have any thoughts on the Bruins or anything else that's going on in the world of sports, give us a call, 401-766-1240, 766-1240. Thanks to Moose for calling in. As always, one of our best regulars, talking a little Bruins. He's not happy with the Bruins. The Bruins do try to turn things around, but I don't think it mattered who was in net. Swayman or Korpisalo the last two games. It's the defense that's letting them down. I'm not saying that the goalies aren't giving up some soft goals here or there, but it's the defense. I heard something the other day, Pat. 21 times this year. Now I haven't verified this, but 21 times they've given up 4 or more goals this season in a game.
Oh, I'm sure.
So and the season's about 2/3 over, so it's a third of the time they've given up more than 4 goals. I mean, that's just unacceptable, and they can't score.
Well, that's I was going to say, not only has the defense been poor, they can't score. And that's, I don't care how bad the defense is. If you don't score,
right,
then it is what it is.
Yeah, so before we get into the into the NBA and a couple things. Just a quick reference to the Utah Hockey Club. They wanted to call themselves the Yetis, but you know who didn't want them to be called the Yetis?
Yeti Cooler.
The
company.
Yeti people, exactly. Which I'm surprised that they couldn't make something work, because it's just a natural advertising for them, for a company that's doing very well.
I'm sure they don't need the advertising.
I guess they don't.
Saying,
right? That's true too.
Nor do we need to pay you to let you use our name.
Yeah. No, that's a good point too.
So yeah, we'll see what happens. So they opened it up to the fans to vote.
Yeah.
After the first night, it was 3 names, right? I don't know if you have them here.
It's still 3 names.
Yeah, but then they took away one of the names and put in another name. So it was the Outlaws.
That's the new one.
That's the new one. It was the Mammoth.
Yep.
The Wasatch.
That's the one they just got rid of.
That's the Mountains, right?
Yeah, in the hockey club.
It was to remain the hockey club. Now, if I'm a fan and I've already spent money on the Utah Hockey Club stuff, I'm saying We're keeping it the hockey club because I'm not buying any more merchandise.
Or will it be worth something because it was only 1 year and you got the special limited edition?
So now I think they're voting on it another couple of games and then they'll decide. So.
In the arena during the games. I think the Wasatch one, I can't even say it. So I think that, and apparently the voting did not go well. The owners of the team said, "Okay, we're taking that off." The Outlaws wasn't a name that made the final six, so they brought it back. My guess is they've already missed a day of voting, so I don't know how they catch up. I don't know how it works, but so the Utah Hockey Club is going to have some a name change there anyway. So. Some interesting things there. So let's switch over a little bit of Celtics. Celtics last night, first of all, they win on a last-second shot by Jason Tatum. 0.2 seconds left. They get by the Pelicans, one of the worst teams in the league.
Nothing's ever good enough, Kevin.
No, and I'm in the minority on this.
He's a professional sports team, so it doesn't matter if you're the worst team in the league or not. They're all getting paid to play.
That's why the Sabres beat the Bruins. With 2 hat tricks the other night. You are clearly in the boat that there's this mythical, magical switch that they're just going to go and flick and be okay to win the NBA championship.
No, I just think that they're built to withstand a 7-game series. I don't think there's any team that is going to beat them in 7 games.
Until they don't, you're right, because they're the defending champions. They went 16-3 last year. I'm just concerned with the way they've been playing the last almost 3 months now.
Well, they're 6-4 in their last 10, and there's only 2 teams, maybe in the East, that are better than that at 7-3 in the last 10. And Cleveland's not one of them. Cleveland's 6-4 in their last 10. They're 5.5 games behind Cleveland. They got the 2 seed. They're 34-15. They've won 70% of their games.
I get it.
What you want? That's what you want to do.
You're giving me facts that make sense. I'm going with the eyeball test and the prognostications at the beginning of the year that they weren't going to lose at home, and they've lost 9 at home. They only lost 1 at home last year.
They've only played 9 games all season with their core starters. 9.
Is that because the guys have really been hurt, or are they taking more days?
Porzingis missed the first half of the season.
And Tatum doesn't usually miss, so it's...
Yeah, Holiday was out a couple games here and there, so...
All right, so...
Again, I don't care if they finish 5th as long as they make the playoffs. I don't think there's a team that can beat them in 7 games, and that's where I stand.
Okay. It's and I obviously don't have any facts to back up that they won't win a series until we get there. I'm just concerned with how they're playing. A dominant team to me should be dominating the New Orleans Pelicans, and they're not. I saw Tatum hit a clutch shot last night. That was great to see. Happy to see. I'm always happy with the win. Don't get me wrong on that. So have you seen, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. You have seen, we've talked about it. In basketball, there's 2 things being out there right now. Adam Silver is floating around the idea of going from a 48-minute basketball game to a 40-minute game. He says it's to make it a more global, and that's true. The college game, the international game is all 40 minutes, whether you go 4 10-minute quarters or 2 20-minute halves. NBA has always been, at least since the mid-40s, a 48-minute game. If they go to, some people have suggested knocking games off on the schedule because of the back-to-back, the grind and everything. But if they go from a 48-minute to a 40-minute, and it's just being floated, it would save in time about 13 to 14 games per year. Thus, in theory, lessening the grind. Any initial thoughts on the NBA going from a 48-minute game to a 40-minute game? No thoughts?
I mean, I don't... they're playing less time, but it's still a grind.
Right.
Whether you're playing an additional 8 minutes per night or not, I get the theory of it's potentially 13 games of time that they're going to save off the course, but they're still playing those games. But whatever. I don't know.
I think it's are they going to give any money back for fans missing almost a full quarter? So, that's
no.
That's
they'll actually raise the ticket
happen.
prices will go up.
Yeah, exactly, for less action on the court. One of the things he did say, I guess NBA games have gone to an average of 2:15, and they'd like to get into that 2-hour window. I say cut some of the timeouts. There's just way too many
in the constant reviews and green light specials, and
it's terrible.
Cut that time out because you got to take this time out before the 3-minute mark or you lose it, so they'll use it. It's like, well, if you're not going to use it, just get rid of it.
Right. I think there's too many timeouts in the NCAA. I think there's too many timeouts in the NBA. It's just it's ridiculous. So the other league, the other rule, we actually saw it's being played out in the G League, which is AAA basketball. Saw it with the Maine Celtics a couple weeks ago, and there's a women's 3-on-3 league going on right now that's sort of doing something similar. The Maine Celtics were tied 50-50 going into overtime, making up some numbers here. And basically they said first team to 61. First team to score 11 in the overtime. All the other rules are the same. Shot clock, the timeline, things like that. Fouls, sending people to the line. So you can win on a 3, you can win on a 2, you can win on a free throw. First team to 11. Thought process there is, you go out, you play 2-on-2, 1-on-1, even 3-on-3 with your friends. You don't play to a clock. You play to a time. You play to a score. I'm intrigued by it.
Yeah, it's different.
I think the fans could get behind this one. And in the 3-on-3 women's league, they're playing 3 10-minute quarters. In the fourth quarter, if you're up 50-40, then you play to 61. The winning team only has to get 11 more points. Whatever that is, they're not playing to 11. They have to score 11 more in the fourth quarter. And whoever gets to, in that example, 61, which still gives the losing team a chance to go on a big run. We talked about, Bryant going on a 12-5 run to finish the game the other night. If you can go on a run, it gives you a chance. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it allows there to not be the inevitable double overtime, triple overtime. I mean, not that you see triple overtime often, but every now and then, it could happen, right?
Correct.
So the first to 11.
Yes,
I think that makes sense.
I think it'd be a lot of fun to play with. Let's take a time here. We're gonna come back. I want to get in really quick, and when we come back, to Terry Rozier, gambling, and how the NBA keeps skirting around gambling when gambling controversies have ruined baseball at times, have kept people out of the Hall of Fame, and the NBA just continues to go on their merry way with gambling controversies. So join us here in the Chief Seats if you have a thought. 766-1240. We'll be right back right after this.
ON 1240. State Line Service and Tire Center is a full-service vehicle maintenance and repair center, including computerized engine analysis, wheel alignment, emission testing, exhaust, and more. Their ASE-certified technicians use only quality parts to maintain your manufacturer's warranty. Regular maintenance is important. Remember to check your tires for pressure and wear. If you need tires, State Line will shop for you to get the best possible price, and they welcome any questions you may have about maintaining your vehicle. State Line Service and Tire Center at 1209 Social Street, Woonsocket at the City Line. 765-0146.
Looking to beautify your property this fall? Look to A.J. Moran for stonework patios, steps, walkways, plus retaining walls. Looking to beautify your home this fall? A.J. Moran can put veneer stone right on your house to have beautiful looking stone. And if that's not what you want, A.J. Moran can rebuild indoor fireplaces with veneer stone. It's real natural stone. Check out what they can do online, ajmoraninc.com. A.J. Moran.
If you're celebrating a major event, regardless of the reason, Michael's Meats of Cumberland can elevate your next meal from ordinary to extraordinary with meats so good your guests will ask you where you got them. Tell them Michael's Meats. Michael's Meats is in the Walgreens parking lot on Mendon Road in Cumberland, just north of the Ciabro Plaza. They're open Monday through Saturday at 9 a.m., making your next meal truly special. Here's this week's specials at Michael's Meats.
And this week's specials at Michael's Meats, he's got extra loin, sirloin, pork cutlets for just $2.77 a pound at Michael's Meats. Yummy. It's good. He's got real good food there. So thank you to Michael's Meats and all of our sponsors here in the cheap seats. We appreciate it. We teased it a little bit. Terry Rozier, former Celtic player. According to the latest reports, Terry Rozier in 2023 was playing for the Hornets. He exited the game after just 9 minutes, citing a quote-unquote foot injury. There was a flood of under. For you gamblers out there, you know the over-under, and there's all these prop bets that are out there. You can parlay these things. How many points will they play? How many fouls will they get? How many minutes? I'm not a gambler. I'm not against it. I'm just not into it. But a tweet from that day from a betting account, Greg Ehrenberg, went viral with a quote, "At least I was in on it today. Got lucky that I was fed some inside information that Rozier was leaving in the first or second quarter, depending on game flow and live lines, so that his unders would hit," wrote this guy in the Post. Have you been following this at all? This just came out, Thursday?
Yeah, it was within the last couple of days, and this goes back. I think this is tied in with the Jonte Porter.
Well, the Jonte who was suspended for life, Jonte Porter,
yes.
If I'm not mistaken, again for gambling on games. And it's not just a straight gamble. It used to be the point shaving scandal. Now these prop bets and the unders, and they
3 shots, how many threes? There's a lot, and it's become a huge part of all. You watch all ESPN. They all have. It's not just the score. It's the betting lines are right next to them. You can bet on games at NFL stadiums.
Right.
It's within the app. Unfortunately, there's only one app that you can use in Rhode Island, and most of us have to drive, or those of people who I know who use them have to drive to Mass to get the other ones. So it's certainly something you have to look out for, and it, the integrity of the sport. It's $1 billion industry.
You have a referee in oh my God, I said the name earlier. I want to say Jim Montgomery. Tim Donaghy. Thank you, Tim Donaghy. Who was that, about 15 years ago? Was fixing games as a referee. And got busted for it, is out of the league, lost his pension.
And that was back in the day when it wasn't like app, it was
it wasn't
bookies.
Legal. Right, he was dealing with bookies and skates. I mean, you got the Black Sox scandals in 1919. You got Pete Rose betting on his own team. I'm not saying it was right what he did, but still not in the Hall of Fame, banned for life. And you got NBA officials fixing games while they're happening. You got Porter suspended. You got Rozier. Here's the other thing. The NBA did an investigation. And they found Rozier clean. The Wall Street Journal comes out. This was a while ago that the NBA investigated and said nothing to see here. Now the Wall Street Journal comes out with a post, with a story, and now the whole thing's open again. And is this just a tip of the iceberg? Is this what's going to happen in all the leagues? I'm sure it's happened at Boston College back in the day again with bookies. But now that everything's legal, I mean, I can sit on my couch and hit the live odds on Comcast cable in Massachusetts and gamble. Is this where's this going to go from here?
Well, I mean, if you can't trust the players and the referees and in the individual leagues to police it, then how legitimate is it?
Right. It's you with these prop bets in the over under. It's the only way they're finding out is like you're getting a flood of weird bets, weird things that are happening that aren't traditional. You and I go make a bet, on Terry Rozier's under. It's not a big deal. When
Big
people
money
starts
coming
money,
in on. I mean, who's betting on Rozier?
Right,
I don't
exactly.
know. I mean,
I'm sure there's like 100 people in the country that bet on Terry Rozier. Maybe more now. There's names in the paper.
Yeah.
But when they go from
any
100,
game he's in.
Yeah, exactly. So now they go from 100 to 5,000 people wagering $5 million. Boom, red flags go up, and that's how they caught, I think, Porter too. All of a sudden, I forgot what he was gambling on, but it was weird bets at weird times of the day. This is how they've caught some college football players. It's like all of a sudden people are betting on UMBC to go over, and there's 15,000 people betting $15 million, and the red flags go up, and that's how they're getting people on this.
Yep. There's algorithms out there that I'm sure shoot up red flags when some anomaly. It's like, whoa, what's this?
Right. So how do you fix it? I mean, the players are getting more than enough money. I mean, MLB minimum salary.
You can't fix it unless the leagues step in and do a better job of policing it. And if they don't want to police it, there's a reason why.
Because
they're making money off of it too. So, I mean, they're getting a piece of the pie,
right? Which
is why they've allowed gambling.
So, do you think that's why they let Terry Rozier off after their?
Well, I don't. I mean, I'm not going to drill down to that specific.
I mean, this tweet from this guy that went viral. Yeah. At least I was in on it today. I got fed. So Rozier's tanking in the middle of a season. He didn't play the rest of the season. Maybe the Hornets found out and suspended him. I don't know. I'm not up on Terry Rozier from 2023 to know exactly what happened, but this could have potential repercussions throughout the league because it's not just him.
No,
there's probably one or two per team that are engaging in things like this, all across the league, all across the sports.
I mean, was it Booty? Who got
the wide receiver?
Who got jammed up in the betting scandal when he was at LSU?
That sounds right. Yeah, I think it was him.
And it doesn't take much to go from gambling on, and I think those were games he was playing in at LSU.
Yeah,
but even even if you're gambling on other games, it doesn't take much to go to the next level and go, well, I'm in more control if it's in games that I'm
right.
I can take this play off. I can take that play off.
I know my quarterback who's going to play has a sore elbow and can't throw deep, so I'm going to go under the yards. I mean, and if I don't want to attach my name to it, I'll attach somebody else with a different name than me to go, hey, go put this safe bet down. So it's...
And hey, listen, there's no way you're telling me that Shohei Ohtani had no idea that those bets were being placed. 100% he did. It would... If that came out and it was fact...
Right.
MLB would be
ruined. I mean,
they'd be eviscerated.
That's their main guy.
Yeah,
Shohei, you can't have the face of your league.
And we've heard nothing about that since.
There was something about the interpreter.
Yeah, and then it was like, but even the fall guy, and now it's all gone.
A week ago, something about the interpreter again came out. I'm not sure what. It wasn't groundbreaking or earth-shattering news. It was just something was out there, but again, nothing major. Like I didn't want to go look for it again.
We haven't heard anything really.
Right, that's
what it came down to. It's like hush hush, let it go away. Shohei is they won the Dodgers. He's woohoo! All right.
The Dodgers. I think they're gonna win again, but I'm sure we'll be doing a baseball preview in the coming weeks and months as Red Sox get ready for
12 days training. Or 11 days now, no pitches and catches.
Nice. Scherzer just signed with the Jays.
Yeah.
I don't remember the deals of the contract. I'm sure, but that's a good signing. Toronto seems to be, always in on these players and never seems to get any. And so good for the Jays to get Scherzer. Scherzer, obviously a quality pitcher.
1 year, 15.5.
So it tells me that Scherzer was having trouble.
Fully guaranteed.
Yeah. Bregman's still out there. I don't know if Boris is just floating his name out there. Like, now I'm hearing Astros, now I'm hearing 6 years, now I'm hearing 5 years. The popular thought is Sox and other teams don't want to go more than 4 because of his age. So it's interesting for Bregman. I still want to see the Sox get him, but we'll see.
They need a bat.
So
one more.
Do you want to make our Super Bowl predictions this week or wait till next week? We'll wait till next week. We both went 1-1 last week.
Let's do Saturday. Well, we'll do next Saturday.
Next Saturday. Okay, so it's
give me some time to
really
do
process.
a deep dive.
Here we go, and you give us your expert opinion and thought and all the reasons why.
Which team I really don't want to win is going to have to win.
Going to win, exactly.
Gotcha.
So we were both 1-1 last week. We're both 4-2.
Yeah.
I think, and I do think we have a differing of opinions going into the Super Bowl, but we both have one more week. So, hey, we want to thank you for joining us in the cheap seats this week. Thanks to Moose for calling in. Thank you to our sponsors, as always, for calling in. We hope you join us next week, 9 o'clock, right here on 1240 AM, 99.5 FM, WoodSoccerRadio.com. Hope you have a great weekend. Bye, everyone.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy.